Hey guys, it's Stuart from Superscaling, and I just thought that I'd bring to you this topic on why proactivity is the small business founder's best asset. In all, I believe proactivity is about 5 key things. Number 1, being able to look out at possibilities. Number 2, challenging assumptions about what used to work. Number 3, innovation. Number 4, testing things so that you can generate results in an agile fashion. And finally, taking responsibility. With all of these approaches to proactivity, one will wonder what is the underlying component in proactivity, which I'll share with you in a short while. A lot of people think of proactivity as a superpower. In fact, a lot of people would wish that their employees are proactive. For example, they notice something that's wrong and they correct it before it even gets out of hand. However, proactivity is more than just that. I mean, if you wish for it to happen for your employees, you've got to begin to demonstrate it for yourself as a founder of your own business. So there are 5 things I want to bring up about proactivity that you necessarily need to look into in order for you to begin this process of shifting your culture to one that is more proactive. Number 1, looking for possibilities. So if you're constantly looking out for possibilities, it means that you're looking forward towards the things that have not been explored yet. There are probably many things that could happen, some good and some bad. Are you best prepared for the best case scenario as well as the worst case scenario? Because that's proactivity. I mean, we all know that it's likely that sometime down the line there's going to be some risk in our business, whether it's an economic cycle or whether it's another pandemic. Whatever the case, we need to be prepared. Right? So are we not making proactive plans so that in case things happen, you can pull that out of your drawer and get certain things done in a more systematic fashion? Now, a lot of people would diss this because they think that looking at all these possibilities, you're not doubling down on the things that will make sense the most. But I can tell you this, did a pandemic make very much sense to you? I don't think so. At the end of the day, we are responsible for our own future, and as a result, proactively looking out for possibilities, both positive as well as negative, can help us mitigate risks and exploit opportunities whenever they come up. The second thing is proactively challenging your assumptions. Now, you and I both know that assumptions come out as a blind spot for most entrepreneurs. That's one of the reasons why Superscaling exists. And if you happen to be interested in receiving coaching from us so that you can unblock your blind spots, then feel free to click on the link down below so that you'll be able to get access to a call that will help us to determine how best we can help you. So understanding how to challenge your assumptions is very simple. What you want to do is take a look at the results that you're getting and then work backwards. A lot of the time, whenever you're not getting the results that you want, you're actually executing in a manner that calls for a certain way of thinking. So based on the result that you've got, what actions did you take and what was the assumption behind that action? Recently, Elvin and I were having a discussion with regard to the way we were running our community. And it was quite interesting because when we started thinking about community, we actually had different assumptions of what community actually meant. One of us, community meant a large group of people. To another one of us, community meant a very small, tightly knit group of people. And as a result, we came to realize we were not talking about the same thing. It wasn't a wonder why we came to become very busy in focusing on this idea of community, but we needed to come to agreement that the assumptions that we had previously were not quite the things that we were able to address. So as a result, we challenged our assumptions and we said, we are serving both, and therefore there should be 2 different products. And because of this, it became a lot more clear what we should do to address different groups. And as a result of this proactive reanalysis of our situation, it enabled us to become a little bit more agile and take the right kinds of actions in order to move the needle. Number 3, innovation. You and I both know that innovation is the heart of small business, isn't it? However, most of us, when asked whether or not we have a full database of innovations, we don't. In fact, innovations can be prioritized from what is commonly known as a portfolio canvas. This was not developed by me, it was developed by Strategizer, so I highly recommend you head down to strategizer.com. Alexander Osterwalder, who came up with the business model canvas, also has a simple model to help you to identify whether something should be in your portfolio of activities or removed from that portfolio of activities. So innovation really is a process of identifying what the market wants and potentially needs, testing it quickly and rapidly in the marketplace, and then being able to decide how to move it from just an idea into part of your actual portfolio. What this means, of course, is that we have to constantly develop ourselves and grow ourselves and be aware that proactively looking out for products, services that could actually serve the market effectively are going to be crucial in this day and age. So constantly coming up with innovations means that you have to proactively protect some of your time in order to come up with these ideas that could be viable somewhere down the line. Number 4, testing for results. Earlier on, we talked a little bit about proactivity for innovation. But if you're able to identify how to execute and produce results that you need, then you are really going to be testing for results. Nobody's asking you to jump off a cliff. You just need to test small in order to get a sense of what's really working. And testing, as espoused by the Stanford D School, suggests that you can actually prototype something without necessarily building anything. You just need to come up with something from a conceptual level and have a conversation with people who might fit into your marketplace. By testing rapidly and cyclically, you're actually going into the future and asking customers, imagine that this product actually exists. Or imagine that this service is working for you right now. How would you feel towards it? Do you think you will enjoy it? So through this process, you get a chance to identify the service levels, the product levels that are useful, that will enable the marketplace to provide you valuable feedback in order for you to continue on your portfolio journey. So as a result, you recognize that these 4 approaches to look out for possibilities, challenging your assumptions, innovation, and testing for results are somehow related. I wouldn't be surprised that if some of you are already doing it, you probably don't have a systematic way of doing this. Well, let's just suppose that you think about the idea of working on your business and to be proactive in working on your business. What exactly is that? And that's the 5th element of proactivity, which is taking personal responsibility. Now, it sounds like a motivational spiel, but that's not what I want to give you. At the end of the day, you and I both know that our employees are not going to take responsibility for our companies. And as a result, we need to be able to take full responsibility whenever our employees are unable to or unwilling to. So taking responsibility means this. Number 1, setting aside time to work on the business. It might be an hour or 2 hours. Whatever the case, there needs to be a regular cadence so that you can identify possibilities, innovate, etc. So all of these things need to be thought through in a systematic fashion. What kind of systematic fashion? Well, review your processes and attempt to get visual input in terms of how you're doing what you're doing so that you can streamline it and you can execute on it more effectively. Now, once you're able to do that, determine your bottlenecks, remove those bottlenecks so that you're also proactively working on the things that are likely to cause you more problems moving forward. The next thing would then be to execute it and, just as we mentioned, test small. Once you know that there's a new process involved, don't try to swamp everybody over it. Just test it out yourself. See whether it's sustainable. And if it's not sustainable, chances are you're going to have to involve a team. And if you're involving the team, please remember, proactively brief them, communicate with them the reason why this is so important in order for the change to really stick. So at the end of the day, there are 5 key things. Being able to look out for possibilities, being able to challenge your assumptions, innovate, being able to test for results, and more importantly, to take responsibility for your business overall so that you have a more systemized business. At the heart of this, proactivity is all about managing your mental and emotional states. If you're able to be proactive, it must mean that you're in some kind of a driven, enthusiastic, fun-driven state. However, most people start the day being dreary, being fearful, being anxious, and as a result, they dive into the things that they need to do, but they do it very unwillingly. Is this really the kind of work that you want to do? So what I'd like to encourage you to do is to begin on the pathway of proactivity as your superpower. When you're able to do this, you'll find that moving forward, you'll experience a lot more power in scaling or building the foundations for scaling your business so that you'll be able to reach the next level of your business easily.